And don't forget to order your copy of Football Game Plan's latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths, an excellent book that you can find on our website at footballgameplan.com/books, available in both PDF as well as paperback form.
Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our NFL Week 1 preview between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Packers.
For Green Bay, they can't be afraid to go empty. They have the depth at wide receiver, the athleticism at tight end to put a strain on a defense's ability to cover. I would utilize these early down and distances to go empty to try to generate a big play versus Seattle. They also have to find creative ways to generate pressure, whether that's with being versatile with the personnel or sending a defensive back on a blitz. Whichever way they choose to slice this apple, the main point is that they have to make life uncomfortable for Russell Wilson. And first down defense is going to be key versus Seattle. Make them work for whatever they're going to get. Getting them in second and long, third and long situations, in my opinion, plays to the strength of the Packers' revamped defensive personnel. They'll then be able to bring an extra pass rusher and an extra defensive back on the field. And for Seattle, they have to win on the defensive interior versus both the run and the pass. That's the best way to slow down this Packers offense. Now, I wouldn't hesitate to help out the right tackle, Justin Britt, if he's struggling in this ball game. He's going up against some pretty good edge rushers, and if he's struggling early, don't hesitate to help him out with play calling or with the tight end. And finally, I think using Marshawn Lynch's skills as a receiver is an advantage in this ball game that the Seahawks have to exploit. It's a vastly underrated element of his game that could generate big plays for the Hawks.
When facing the Seattle Seahawks, you know you're going to see a certain amount of coverages. You're going to see a lot of cover 3, some cover 1, some cover 0. And what Green Bay has at their disposal and to their advantage is a mobile quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to show you how they can spread the field going empty and utilizing Rodgers' mobility against Seattle's defense and getting one-on-one opportunities. I'm going to show you what we have drawn up here. 5 wide receivers set. We have Jordy Nelson split out wide, Richard Rodgers, the rookie tight end, Randall Cobb, Jared Boykin, and Devontae Adams, the rookie, all on the same side. And what we're trying to do is create one-on-one matchups to try to put Seattle's defensive secondary coverage in a bind. And the reason why this works, again, Aaron Rodgers' mobility out of the empty set. Normally, when you go empty, it tells the defense there's no running back in the backfield. There's no threat to run the football. We can all get back in coverage. The problem with this now, the fact that you have a mobile quarterback, is that one of these linebackers has to respect Aaron Rodgers' mobility. And I'm going to show you how they can create those one-on-one opportunities in the passing game to have success. Again, Randall Cobb and Jared Boykin will be the pseudo hot reads. We're going to bring Randall Cobb across the formation underneath the linebackers. Built-in hot read. Again, dump this football off in any one of the passing windows. We know how dangerous he is after the catch. Jared Boykin, what we're going to do, we're going to have him run the option route. He's going to run up to that nickel back, and depending on how he's playing him, he can go out, he can go in, he can go quick slant, he can go quick flag route just to get the football in his hands, or he can even run a hitch. So he has the option route. Again, built-in hot read with Randall Cobb and Jared Boykin. We're going to run Devontae Adams down the sideline along with Jordy Nelson down the sideline. Now, what their option is, again, depending on the coverage they get from the cornerbacks, they can peel off and make those comeback routes or deep curl route. So that's what they can do. Now what we're going to do with Richard Rodgers, we're going to bring him over the middle. Again, try to attack every quadrant of this zone for Seattle. We're going to put free safety Earl Thomas in the bind. He's going to have to either squeeze this dig or get over top one of these routes. Again, and when you have the mobility, this linebacker is sitting at a disadvantage. Again, creating the one-on-one opportunities for the quarterback. Where he can go with the football will ultimately decide. He'll decide this where he'll go with the football depending on the coverage he reads. And the good part about it, if this linebacker drops in coverage, which means now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys dropping back, 5 blocking 4, Aaron Rodgers is free to roam. So that's how they can create an opportunity in the passing game by also going empty, utilizing Aaron Rodgers' running ability to hold one linebacker at bay. The Seattle Seahawks know the Green Bay Packers will try to come in and expand that defense, widen out that zone, and attack the voids that'll be in the zone because of it. And I'm going to show you how they can pass guys off, because they're going to have to pass guys off versus Green Bay in order to have success, because you can't turn your back to Aaron Rodgers. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a lot of problems trying to contain him. I'm going to show you how they can pass guys off effectively and play coverage and keep everyone bottled in to where Aaron Rodgers really doesn't have an option to go with throwing the football. I'm gonna show you what they normally do, a basic route combination out of a spread set. They love to run the backside post, weak side. They love to take the slot guy on the weak side and run that in route or that deep dig, and they're gonna take the tight end, cross the formation here. They love to check the back, and he may go out in the route, but he's gonna check and replace where the tight end just left, and love to send the streak down the strong side. And I'm gonna show you how Seattle can then put themselves in great position to pass guys off and be still be in good position to play coverage. Now, corners, what they're gonna do, this guy, he doesn't backpedal, he just sits and waits for the breaking route, then he goes over top of it. Why? Because he knows he has the free safety help coming from Earl Thomas. That way they can squeeze this post and take this post away. Well, what about the dig route coming on the weak side on over here? Why can't the free safety then squeeze on top of the dig? Well, I'm gonna show you what the linebackers are gonna do in the underneath coverage in a second. Over this side, you have the cornerback, Richard Sherman, who's essentially gonna be responsible one-on-one versus the wide receiver. So he's gonna backpedal as this guy starts his route so he can get over top of it. That's his responsibility. He essentially is the one guy that has quote-unquote man coverage on the strong side. Now, the strong safety's job, he has to tight end and he has to also worry about the back. So he's gonna get a good buzz on that tight end, but as he vacates his zone, he's gonna drop back. Now he has two read responsibilities. First, it was the tight end and the tailback. Now, since the tight end has vacated his zone, he drops into his zone responsibility. He's gonna read the back. If he checks out here, it's his job to fly up and get it, but if this guy stays in the block, then he's reading and gonna pick up the incoming dig route. So you have the strong safety playing three roles: tight end, running back, dig route coming across. Now what we have here, once the tight end has vacated the zone of the strong safety, it is now the linebacker's job to chase. So essentially, once the ball snap, he gets his drop, he sees the guy coming across his zone, then it's his responsibility to close in on that. You have the weak side linebacker, or sorry, the middle linebacker slided outside of the tackle. In between, they're basically banjo covering the slot guy. And what you're gonna have this guy do is wall off the inside of the slot that's running the dig. And now you're gonna have the backer that's gonna drop. And once he sees any threat to his zone, then he drops back and covers it. So he can essentially double cover the dragging tight end. You have two guys covering him. You have the dig route being double covered essentially by the strong safety and the backer here. And it takes away the passing windows because now this guy is in the window of the skinny post. You have the backer that's playing banjo coverage on the outside inside of the slot receiver. You have the other backer, strong side, going with the tight end. You also have the strong safety sitting here in the zone reading both the flat and also the incoming dig. And you have Richard Sherman holding down his side by himself one-on-one, and that's where you don't want to go with the football. So you have everything covered, giving Aaron Rodgers problems in the pocket because you don't want to turn your back to him defensively because, again, he can gash you on the ground. And if they can effectively pass guys off in the passing game, I think Seattle has a great chance of getting Green Bay off the field. The Seattle Seahawks know they're going to face a lot of pressure coming from the Green Bay Packers, and one thing they can do to combat that is by utilizing a double screen, which would allow either Percy Harvin or Marshawn Lynch to get the football in their hands in space running against air. And I'm going to show you how they can do that versus the Green Bay Packers pressure. One element about Marshawn Lynch's game that's vastly underrated is his ability to catch the football out of the backfield. So we're going to have Marshawn Lynch here, and we're going to have Percy Harvin out here. Now we're going to have the double screen call. We're reading the outside edge rusher to the running back side, so Russell Wilson will have to read this outside linebacker. And how we're going to block this up is simple. Simple screen rules apply to both sides. What we're going to do is have the receiver to the running back side. He's going to work up and get first threat. We're going to have the wide receiver go up and get the safety. We're going to have this tackle work out here to go kick out that cornerback. So that's where we have the screen call for the back. Now, what we're reading, we're going to have work up, center. Now, on the backside, center is going to work up, get this guy. Guard is going to try to work out to get that backer block. We're going to have a base block right here on the 5 tech. We're going to have the receiver go and kick out the corner. And we're going to have Percy Harvin drop in. And also, now this is key. He's going to either go block the outside backer as well. Now, where Russell Wilson will do the reading is over here. If this defensive end or outside edge rusher comes here, this is where you go with the screen right there. Boom. Marshawn Lynch has 3 blocking 2. It should be a big game for the offense. Now let's backtrack. If the defensive outside edge rusher goes here and takes the running back away, Now what Russell Wilson will do is look to the backside and hit Percy Harvin here. Boom. And now he has the convoy this way. He has the seal block on the inside backer by the center, and he can run in the alley and hopefully make that free safety miss. So you see where the double screen call could be effective, getting the football in the hands of Marshawn Lynch or Percy Harvin, depending on what this outside edge rusher does, whether he takes Marshawn Lynch or whether or not he comes inside and crashes. Russell Wilson is smart enough to make the right decision and put that Green Bay Packer defense in a bind, ultimately easing them out of that pressure so that way they can then have success on offense. Defensively for Green Bay, it's all about getting pressure on Russell Wilson. And the new addition defensively for the Packers this year is Julius Peppers. And I'm going to show you how they can utilize both Peppers, Nick Perry, as well as Clay Matthews on the field at the same time to get those optimal results and confusing Russell Wilson, trying to get him to throw into a trap defense or a zone blitz. We're going to show you what we're going to do right here. It's pre-snap cover 2, but it's really cover 1. We're showing pre-snap cover 2, and this is not based off what the Seattle Seahawks actually do. This is just based off an idea that I would run if I'm the defensive coordinator, utilizing Julius Peppers, Nick Perry, and Clay Matthews at my disposal. Now, we're going to run a weak side cornerback blitz. We're going to get double A-gap pressure to try to force Russell Wilson to throw here into the trap defense, where we're going to have the defensive end dropping back into a zone. So again, double A-gap pressure. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the nose tackle and run him on that inside shoulder of the guard. We're going to take Julius Peppers and loop him all the way around into that strong side A-gap. A lot of attention will be paid to Julius Peppers because he's a tremendous talent, tremendous athlete. And on this situation, I know he's going to play outside linebacker, but we're going to kick him inside at the 5 technique just because we want to bring Nick Perry on the field as well, who we're bringing off the edge, getting pressure here. Now, the other unique part about this defense is that, like I said before, we're going to zone drop this 5 technique. He's going to get over the top the tight end at the snap of the ball and drop into this zone here. We're bringing Clay Matthews off the edge. This is a great run blitz, by the way, as well. And we're dropping both backers here in the short to intermediate zone. We're showing cover 2, so these guys are playing man, actually, because, again, like I said before, it's cover 1. So they're manned up versus the receivers on the outside. And what we're going to do here, as the cadence starts to wind down, we're going to walk this cornerback up. Boom, shoot him off the edge as well. We want to funnel Russell Wilson to the right side, forcing him to throw again into the zone blitz. And as he's walking down, we're going to walk the safety over, and now he's responsible for the receiver. Good thing about Green Bay, they have Micah Hyde now as a free safety. They can send the corner off the edge. They have Morgan Burnett, who can do a solid job in the deep middle, so you don't feel bad putting your strong safety in the deep middle. Again, cover 1, showing cover 2 pre-snap, but a great way to get Julius Peppers, Nick Perry, and Clay Matthews all rushing the quarterback, and that's what they want to do this year. Utilize their weapons, put those speed guys on the field to funnel in the quarterback, keep Russell Wilson bottled in tackle to tackle. Could be a great run blitz, could be a great way to get pressure on the quarterback and get the ball back for that explosive offense in Aaron Rodgers.
The biggest X factor in this game for Green Bay will be their running back, Eddie Lacy. The Seahawks haven't faced a Packer football team with a running game. Eddie Lacy provides that, so it'll be key for the Packers to get him going very early and often in this ball game. The X factor for the Seahawks, in my opinion, are those auxiliary edge rushers, guys like Bruce Irvin and also O'Brien Schofield. I believe those guys have to have big games versus Green Bay, who will try to spread that defense thin, and those guys will have those opportunities to get pressure, and they have to capitalize and put Aaron Rodgers on the ground. I like the Seahawks in this ball game. I'm not worried about their offense. I think they'll do what they do well, which is run the football and operate off play action and take timely shots deep down the field. But this will be a defensive ball game. I like their secondary's ability to match up versus those 4 and sometimes 5 wide receiver sets, and they have the athleticism in the second level to keep Aaron Rodgers bottled up in the pocket. So I like Seattle to kick off the season with the victory versus Green Bay.
What's up, fantasy football fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. For all of your starts, sits, fantasy football notes, news, and tidbits, tune into our podcast, Football Game Plan Starting Lineup, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on our Football Game Plan Radio Network, which is located at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.
And tune in 9 a.m. Eastern Time every Sunday for Football Game Plan's NFL Wraparound, where we give you our thoughts and analysis for the upcoming games on the NFL schedule this week. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Seahawk fan forums and Packer fan forums for always showing Football Game Plan support.